this video, I will show you how to make a knit block from a regular woven block. To make a knit block, I'm only going to use the back block. You can see this is my back block, but I need my front block. This is it. I need my front block to find out how deep the base of my neck is from the tip of the shoulder. I'm going to move my hand so it's here. So I'm just going to measure from the base of the neck to this point where the tip of my shoulder starts. And for me, I already measured it. It's actually 4 inches. So from here to here is 4 inches. So I wrote it down on my paper. Now I'm going to put the front block away. And I will show you what I did. I have traced my back block onto a piece of paper. And the piece of paper is actually doubled. You see that? I have double the size of this paper and it's folded in half. Doesn't matter where the fold is going to be. For me, the fold is right here. So this is the back of my block. I'm going to work with that. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to straighten my center back. If you designed this torso block with me in class, you probably remember that this is my waist. I'm going to move the paper a little bit this way. This is my waist at the back, and mine is tapered in towards the dart by 1/2 inch. And I'm not going to keep this for my knit block. I want my center back to be able to cut it on fold. So I'm going to use a green marker to make the change. This is my first change. So what I did here is I made my back a straight line. So this one, this black line, is no longer my center back. The green line is my center back. Now I'm going to shift my paper so I can reach a little bit better. And I will move towards the shoulder. My knit block is not going to have any darts. It doesn't mean that you must never have darts on your knit block. If you want to have a knit block with the shoulder dart or with the waist dart, or even to ignore this change and to make it into a seam which is tapered towards your waist, you can do that. But my goal here is just to create a dartless knit block. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to get rid of the shoulder dart. Do you see that? My shoulder dart is 1 inch at the widest point right here. So I am going to connect the base of my shoulder at the neck with the tip of my shoulder and draw a line. And now I'm going to subtract 1 inch because my dart here, I'm going to measure it again. At this point, it's 3/4 of an inch. So I'm from the tip of the shoulder, I'm going to remove 3/4 of an inch. And now right here is the end of my shoulder. All of this does not exist. Okay. I'm now going to work on the bottom of my armhole. The armhole is going to be raised by 1/2 inch. Okay, 1/2 inch here. And I am going to get rid of the waist darts. I'm going to move my paper so you can see better. I'm going to get rid of all of this. You can keep it if you want, but I'm making a dartless knit block, so all of this will be gone. And I still want my nice taper at the side seam. So I got rid of this here, and I'm going to measure 1 inch inside. So this is my side seam, existing side seam. I'm measuring towards the center, 1 inch everywhere from top to bottom. 1 inch everywhere. So this foundation is meant for a stretchy knit. What is a stretchy knit? It's difficult to describe, but I'm going to say in this case, a stretchy knit is something that stretches like a medium weight cotton t-shirt. It's not a stable knit. Stable knit can be treated almost as a woven fabric. And it's not a super stretch such as, for example, a bathing suit fabric or a leotard fabric. So a stretchy knit is like about a medium stretch of a cotton t-shirt. Okay, so here I'm going to use a French curve. This is my new side seam. It came in at 1 inch everywhere. Okay, there it is. The green marks my new side seam. I will take detailed photos and put them at the end of the video. And it has to go 1/2 inch higher because I took my armhole half an inch higher. Okay, now I'm going to go and use my French curve to connect this point right here, my new tip of the shoulder, with this new point in green, which is the new tip of my armhole. I am going to kind of mimic the shape of the armhole that was here before. So it's going to be about the same roundness, but it's going to be tapered in towards the neck and tapered in towards the center. And this is all I have. My back knit block is finished, and now I'm going to flip the paper over to design the front. The paper gets flipped over. You can see, remember, I have a double layer, so the front is going to be traced on the other side in red. So what is the difference between the back and the front? There's only one difference, and the difference is that we're going to deepen. Do you see? You can see the outline of the back on the front. We're going to deepen the base of the neck because the neck in the front is quite a bit deeper than the neck in the back. So I'm going to the center of the neck in the back, and I'm tracing 4 inches down because do you remember I measured my block in the front and it's 4 inches deeper than the back. And I am going to grab my French curve and draw a new front neck. Of course, I'm going to give myself a start of a 90-degree angle, and the tip of my shoulder is exactly the same from back to front. I'm just going to deepen the neck for the front like this. And now I'm just going to draw the rest of it in red because I can see the green and the black lines that I need. I will shift the paper slightly like this. And I'm tracing the bottom, and I'm going to trace the new side seam. It is very, very easy to work on transparent pattern tracing paper, as you know, because you can see you are making your work half of what it can be with a non-transparent paper. Okay, there's my new side seam, and I will go to the other side to draw the new armhole, and it's exactly the same shape for now. Okay, and I'm going to use a ruler to connect the new shoulder, and of course the shoulder length is the same from front and back. Okay, and there's my new front. Now what we can do, if you, let's say, if you make your first t-shirt, you can deepen the front of the armhole in the curve right here where the curve of the front armhole is. You can deepen it by about 1/4 inch. So I'm going to redraw my front armhole and deepen it by 1/4 inch. Why do we do this? We do this because the arms move towards the front and not towards the back, and this gives a little bit more comfort in this area and makes it bunch up in the front a lot less. So I will now open up the paper so you can see the front and the back. Okay. So you can see, you can't see everything all at once, but I will take detailed photos. So the red is my front knit block. If you find that this is too deep, you can of course raise it, or you can make it a little bit less deep to begin with and cut it as you need it later. I have the front and the back. There we go. I will take detailed photos, but you can see the gist of what I did here. The front and the back have no darts. The front will be cut on fold. I'm going to mark it as cut on fold. And the back can be cut on fold. Center front and the back, I will use a green marker. is also cut on fold. This is center back. So because this is a block, it doesn't have any seam allowances. What is the seam allowance for knits? The seam allowances can be anything you decide to be. Knits are usually sewn and serged together. So 1/4 of an inch or 3/8 of an inch is plenty almost everywhere in the knit. We finished making changes to the front and back of the torso, and now I have to show you how to adjust the sleeve to the new knit block. If you design the torso and the sleeve block for woven fabrics in the class with me, you know that the sleeve size and shape was designed for the size and shape of a torso or a bodice armhole. So because we changed the torso and the bodice armhole, we now have to change the sleeve. So I'm going to start by raising the bottom of the sleeve by 1/2 inch. This is the same amount as we raised on the torso. The changes you made on the torso have to be transferred to the sleeve. So I raised the bottom of the sleeve to match the armhole to be 1/2 inch higher. And if you remember, I also narrowed the torso block front and back by 1 inch. So I'm going to do the same with the sleeve. So this is 1 inch, 1 inch, and the same on the other side. Okay, and so now these are my new side seams for the sleeve right here, and they go higher by 1/2 inch to here, and the same here. Okay, and now I am going to use a French curve to redraw the cap of the sleeve. And really, you don't have to touch the top of the sleeve. I'm just going to work with the bottom of the sleeve to sort of gently taper it down like this. It's a very small adjustment. I'm going to move the paper a little bit closer to me. It's a very small adjustment just to mimic the curve, but take it higher and narrower. And so now we have made all the adjustments necessary for the sleeve, and I will show you the detailed photos at the end of the video.